Okay, good morning and happy Labor Day. I show 0700. My name is Paul Carlos. I'm the Incident Management Team 1 Plan Section Chief Trainee, and this is the operational briefing for the west zone of the Dixie incident for September 6, 2021. I get everybody to silence their phone, take any sidebar conversations outside the briefing area. I'd appreciate it. We'll start off with the incident update, night operations.
Good morning, Magnus Johnson. I am T1 Night Operations. Branch 9, nice and quiet in there. As we come up into Branch 13, the Shasta sector, they had a little activity in there around the Hat Creek and the Nobles Immigrant Trail. They've kept that in check. Going over into Branch 16, Lassen sector, yesterday they had about a 15 to 20 acre spot fire out there. They've got that with single blade dozer line around it, hose around it, crews are working it. They worked it through the night. Sierra, Tango, and Union, nice and quiet. A few calls for service in Division Union as we come down through the Westwood sector and into the Janesville branch and the Junction Group. Junction Group last night, we had fire moving down in amongst the structures. Those are all lined. There was no real immediate threat to the structures. One thing in there for everybody, that if you're in there at night, those winds are battling. Those winds can't make up their mind. We had sheeting, we had spotting. You just got to keep your heads on a swivel. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Massive achievement there coming off of the Black Mountain with the hose lay all the way down to the dozer line against the 395. End of report.
And again, there's been no changes to your management control objectives. You can refer to them in the 202 in your IEP. Weather.
Morning, Ben Vardas. I'm it. So today we're going to have a bit of a warmer day than yesterday. The high pressure system we've got over us is basically going to be the most dominant it's been today. So looking at a little warmer, highs will be low 90s in the valleys, maybe even close to 94, 95 in a couple spots, and then mid to upper 80s in areas of higher elevation. Still really dry, as we can feel this morning, so looking at those min-RHs getting down around 8 or 10% today, this afternoon. As alluded to with the winds, lots of terrain-driven winds due to the complex terrain around this fire, especially on the northern part of the fire. It's going to be pretty squirrely as far as the actual wind direction, but expect on ridge tops to have that southwest wind push in again today. Gusts to 15 miles per hour max on those ridge tops, otherwise 5 to 10 miles per hour with those terrain-driven winds this afternoon. One note of exception, as kind of talked about down on the escarpment there on the southeast, in coordination with the IMED on the east side, looks like there's going to be a light northeasterly this morning, switching to a southwesterly midday today, and by about 1300 this afternoon, if you're down on that part of the fire, expect winds to be more like 10 miles per hour or so, with gusts as high as 20, 22 miles per hour. So just a look out for that. And lastly, with the smoke, it kind of got cleared out a little bit last night. Expect the visibility to be kind of up and down today. We'll see that wind kick in this afternoon and kind of push it out again. But we will have some smoke kind of lingering and just floating around the fire. One final reminder, any OBS, there's a new phone number for that on the IAP. Thank you very much.
Fire behavior.
Good morning, Don Watt with Fire Behavior. So as you guys can see, we have a little more clearing today. That also contributes to that fire activity up here in branch 13. When you have that clear air, the sun gets on the fuels, especially those newer fuels, the snow brush up there in the reading fire, it will actually increase activity. They saw it dampen down when the smoke shaded it out. It's not going to produce a lot of smoke and have a big column build unless it gets in some of those timber stringers up on the northern portion. So biggest thing, as it clears out, it gets warm, activity is going to increase. We have a day of limited recovery. We're going into another limited recovery tonight. Your burning period extends out throughout the day and into the night. Especially with the winds as they battle around in different areas, it's really going to mean that you need to take observations of what the fire is doing in your area and what the wind's doing. Every little valley will have a shift in wind. As we see the upper level winds settle down, it'll change directions. So just be cognizant of that, especially when we start getting down towards that 395 corridor in the evening. You have 3 different wind layers going through there. So make sure you're taking that time to look at what the fire's doing and how the wind's reacting. Remember, it's going to burn actively throughout the day. Short range spotting can be expected. Have a safe shift.
Operational work assignments operations.
Good morning, Mike Wink, Operations. So for today's operational assignments, no change here in Branch 9. A lot of continued calls for service. We're working with the Chester and West Almanor folks. They have engines assigned out there working with you, taking care of all those things that people are calling in there in Branch 9. They're on the Highway 36 corridor. So continue those efforts, tactical patrol. Up here in the park, Branch 13, the Shasta sector, like you heard Night Ops mention, they had some stuff going northeast along the Hat Creek drainage, kind of staying in the bottom at the toe of the slope. It's not up on Raker yet. Trying to get it around Raker Peak, keep it on that south side, get in that trail system, get it up into Rail Canyon, and let's get that piece tied off, okay? It's a lot of effort in there, weeks and weeks of putting this plan together, so continue those efforts in there. But that also means we continue the contingency lines, secondary contingency, values of risk, and egress, ingress corridors. Continue to evaluate all that fuels reduction in there, just in case it gets out of the park. You know, we need to make sure that those are solid. So continue to evaluate those contingencies. Over here in the Lassen sector, in the Branch 16, once again, I've said, 2 days, no spots, and that's when we stop contingency planning and putting in minor activity, minor lines out there, okay? Stay on existing roadways. We need to keep planning for that. Yesterday, you heard the weather and fire behavior talk about that with the increased winds, we could have activity. So we had this activity here. We had a spot fire. It's been going to the east, and then switched a couple days. We had spot fires for the north in this piece. Now it's switched over here with that southwest wind. We had 25-acre spot between the Hall Road and Highway 44. They picked that up. You got to hold that. It's going to be a hot handoff this morning. So we got to continue to hold this piece. Okay, we have multiple lines out there with 44, the railway, the power line easement, and then the additional contingency line. So got to continue those efforts in there. You're going to have that southwest wind again today. Be watching for those spots outside the line. You're focused on the mop-up. Look over your 6 every once in a while. See if you got something behind you. So great job, hot handoff in here today, okay? Coming down here in Westwood, Highway 36 corridor, continue those calls for service, doing tactical patrol, making sure we hold everything we got, making sure we don't have any additional lost structures damaged or destroyed, okay? Down here to Janesville Branch. Once again, just as a reminder, we are working most of this stuff we're working with the East Zone and for the East Zone. We have great communications with their leadership. We come up with a plan together and put that in place. When we're talking about all the things going on in here, make sure you're monitoring Command 30, East Zone Air-to-Ground Command, and East Zone Air-to-Ground Tactical, so we know what the plan is over here in Oscar and Papa, okay? So as the efforts, so this group a couple days ago was part of the team that bought 3 D8s off the top and some very large excavators and put in this piece from the motorcycle track up to the Black Mountain Lookout and the repeater site. Not a lot of historical fire lines in this area, and you guys did that, so great job, great job. So that's one of those examples of there is no can't, there's try harder, okay? Many days we spent trying to figure that out, really difficult. Went to plan and got different resources, and so great job in there. As we continue up here into the top part, on the top of the escarpment, putting in that line, had a 105-acre slop over down here right against the Walker Fire burn scar, which is right in this area. We went in there and assisted and worked together with the East Zone to get that 105-acre slop with the southerly influence. When we had all this activity here, up here, and over here yesterday, this piece, it's important that we work with them in there because we don't want this 20,000-acre island to become involved, because when we only got 2 lines, we got an avoidance area until it gets into this Janesville, Milford area from this side that we've been trying to keep off of over in here. So once again, you heard Night Owls talk about the fire has come off the escarpment. Last couple days, we had very unusual weather for this area. Things were very calm. It was shaded out with the smoke. No fire, minimal slow fire activity until last night. You heard it picked up with sheeting, spotting, a little bit of fire whirls on the fire's edge. So we got a fire around 4 structures down in there. There's a lot of dozer line you can't see from the highway. The leadership out there, the groups and the branches are going to go fly today, this morning, to see where they can make improvements. They got the mobile retardant base that's going to be set up over here. Water tenders, if you're a water tender out here, critical mission today. Pre-treating for 24 to 36 hours nonstop is the work assignment down here. As this continues to come down to 395 and we make a plan to hold that line that got put in, critical. Pre-treat every structure, every road, every driveway. That's going to be your mission. So every piece of the puzzle's got to get put together. We hold that piece while we work with the East Zone. Okay, this picture right here. I've talked for many days about getting the right people in the right spot, right? Local leadership, the people who know this area, getting those right people in the right spot. We had a local dozer that's from the area that knows all the line. The Simpson dozer. We had 2 Lassen Modoc engines, just 2 engine companies, 6 people, 2271 and 2251. They had an assignment, hey, we got to get line, 16,000 feet of line from Black Mountain Lookout down to the motorcycle park. They said, okay, we'll figure something out. They got with the dozer, they made wooden platforms, strapped them to the dozer, put 24,000 feet of hose, and with 6 people, they went from Black Mountain Lookout down to the park. They got a golf to help them at the bottom. That is the example of what all of you guys are doing. There is no can't, there's try harder. We got to put those pieces of the puzzle together. Great effort by these folks. Great effort by all of you. We've got to get this buttoned up so we can get these communities back to normal, get more Black Line on the map so everybody can go home. But today, stay focused, know your mission. Everybody's assignment today is critical. Every piece, every branch that's out there has potential to have fire spread. Everything, every water tender, every dozer, every engine company, every overhead is out there doing it. Okay, one more example. Yesterday, there was a structure fire just outside of Susanville with the southwest wind on it. The wind was pushing into town. People from camp saw that, got in their pickups overhead, went over there, and took action on some spot fires and helped the locals. Every Marine's a rifleman. Every firefighter's a firefighter. If you see something out there, you're making a difference. We're here to support you. Have a safe shift.
Sector, branch, and divisional roll call resources.
Good morning, Jordan Weber with Resources for your sector, branch, and division roll call. When you hear your name, please stand. Starting in the Shasta sector, Fields. Here. Branch 9, Smith. Here. Division Juliet, Rambo. Here. Division Lima, Ortegal. Here. Branch 13, Clemec. Here. Trainee English. Here. Division November and Papa are briefing in the field. Shasta Contingency, Stornetta. The Lassen sector, Prather. On the line. Branch 16, Petro. Quebec, Medeiros. Romeo, Milovich. Trainee, Carey. Division Sierra, Costa. Lassen Contingency, Pangburn. For the Westwood sector, Rayleigh. Westwood Group, Lawler. Janesville branch, Benenhoven. Milford Group, Darnell. Antelope Group, Fairbanks. For the Junction Group, Niedenberger. Trainee Rushing. For the Lassen Fire Suppression Repair, Hauser. Thanks, have a safe shift.
Air operations.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Matt Hill, Air Operations, CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 1. To support the operation today, fixed wing, we have air attack up as soon as visibly possible with the weather. And then we'll have tankers as needed. For rotor wing, we have 17 water droppers. That's 14 type 1s, 3 type 2s, and then guard 841 and guard 820, 24-hour ALS hoist ships. We have 2 helibases, one over by Mineral, which is Battle Creek, and then we have Eagle Lake. Make sure you guys are monitoring air-to-ground command, especially for divisions and above, and then everyone else, air-to-ground TAC. Let's make it a safe shift. Thanks.
Communications.
Good morning, Scott from Communications. Let's open the IAPs to page 41, 42 for the West, 43 for the East Zone. We're going to discuss today's comm plan, September 6, 2021. Notice on page 41, there's a change there. We add a repeater. The repeater is Command 57 or C57. It's located on West Prospect. It's available for branch 9 and 13. Check your 204 and division assignments on that one. Just because I stated it's available for 9 and 13 doesn't mean that everybody can't use it. Remember, in the NIFSI system, we just use whatever repeater is working for us at the moment at the location we're at. So just keep that in mind. Note that C47 is on the 205 but unassigned. And I'd like to, if you guys have any questions, any communications questions, just come over to the comm unit. We'd like to help you in any way we can. If you haven't had your radios cloned, it's important that you get your radios cloned. Get those radios cloned over at communications. That's end of report. Have a safe shift.
Medical.
Morning, Sean Lowry, Med Unit Leader Trainee. If you turn to page 45 in your IAP, you'll see the ICS 206 medical plan for today's operational period. Up top, you'll see that we do have CalMet here on the incident, the beige buildings off to your left-hand side. They are staffed by doctors, nurses, and EMTs. Doc, if you mind raising your hand. Thank you for being here and supporting us on this incident. They do have COVID rapid tests there. We had a slight uptick yesterday in some tests, so we're asking that if you are feeling under the weather, please go get tested. Do it for yourself, your family at home, your crew, and your personnel around you. We do have 3 ambulances, Medic 5, stage up at Branch 16, Medic 6 at ICP, and Medic 8 up at Hat Creek. Down in Box 8, you'll find all the information that you're going to need to relay to your division for an IWI incident. That information will be then transported to West Zone Communications. We do have laminated pocket guides in the back where you grab the IAPs this morning, as well as we're asking that you have a PACE plan, your primary, alternative, contingency, and emergency plan to locate, access, treat, and transport that injured personnel. Lastly, September is Suicide and Behavioral Health Awareness Month. I'm asking all supervisors to check in on your crews and personnel. Make sure they're healthy, both physically and mentally. Thank you, and have a safe shift.
Safety.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Brad Niven, Safety Officer at Team 1. For today, I want to remind everybody about your communications. When you're working down in the Janesville branch, have good communications with that East Zone. You're working anywhere on this incident, possibility you might get flexed, moved around as the situations develop. Make sure you're fully aware of what communications are being used in what branch, what division. If you've got to go to the East Zone, where to find those communications, have a good plan with that. Next thing, snag safety. We've got a lot of areas up on this fire where we've got a whole bunch of snag patches, a bunch of them in 13, a bunch of them in 16. We're working in an area, California, where the timber is already drought stressed. Now we've introduced fire to that. These trees want to come down. Have a plan, post lookouts. Lastly, ask for you guys, with everything that's out there, whether it's COVID, you're driving, fighting fire in branch 13, branch 16, you're down in Janesville, you're working with the East Zone, is be smart. Be smart in all of your operations. Think about it, have that plan, and be smart. Thanks.
Information.
Good morning, Natasha Fouts, Public Information Officer. If you'd like to join me on page 54, I have some updated numbers for you. The fire is currently 495 acres. Sorry about that. 910,495 acres. We're at 57% containment. Our total personnel is 3,919. If you come across media on the line, you can call the incident media line on top. We'll do our best to send someone out to you. A reminder to adhere to the CAL FIRE and Forest Service social media policy. For more information, you can scan the QR codes. If you have photos of the incident you'd like to share with us, there's an email you can send to them, or if you'd like to post them, you can come by the PIO trailer so we can vet those for you. We still have lost and found at the trailer at the front entrance near fuel. There's an address if you have packages to send, and you can also pick up your packages at the front trailer. Thank you. Have a safe shift.
Final comments, Unified IC.
Hi, good morning. Nick Truax. I'm the incident commander for IMT-1 here and one of the unified ICs on the incident. So day 56, we've been out here for quite a while. And then also, whether you realize it or not, it's also the first Monday of September, which is Labor Day. So it's been a long haul. And, you know, Labor Day is a day to celebrate the American worker. And unfortunately, you know, we would all like to be out with our families, having that last barbecue, having that last camping trip, but we're here. We're all here together, whether you're the tailboard fireman out on the line, water tender driver, camp support here, a doctor, you know, whatever. We're all here together. We're working. Hopefully, once this is all wrapped up, taken care of, and we get these communities back to on their way to recovery, we can go home and we can celebrate our Labor Day when this gets done. All I can offer you today is our humble thank you from all the agency administrators and the unified ICs. Thank you for being here, and thank you for what you're doing out there, and have a good and safe day.
Next operational brief will be tomorrow morning, 0700, same location. Unassigned resources in the back, tie in with resources. Your breakouts are in the same location they've always been, along the perimeter of the briefing area. Have a safe shift.